For decades, bodybuilders have spent countless hours trying to get a bigger pump. But do bigger pumps lead to more muscle growth? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how pumps work, 3 ways to increase them, and answer the question that really matters. Do bigger pumps equal more muscle growth? Pumps are quite simple to understand. All they really are is just blood moving into the muscle, less blood moving out of the muscle, and more fluid, typically water, moving into the tissue. What this does is it obviously causes a ton of swelling and making you look 20-30% bigger. This muscle swelling to a very small scale still actually lasts 2 to 3 hours after your lift. In fact, when they study participants and they measure muscle growth for certain factors or whatever the study includes, they have to wait 72 hours before they can actually measure the participants' muscles. This is because the swelling still lasts for up to a few days after you finish the workout. Before we get into if they actually work, first of all, I want to give you 3 tips on how you can get bigger pumps in the gym. This is because, well, they're simply pretty cool. You can look 20-30% bigger after your lift, and they don't hurt anything, so why not try to maximize them? First tip I'll give you is to fuel properly. This includes eating carbohydrates a little bit before you work. You can check out one of my other videos where I go over how you should actually fuel before your workout. But making sure you have enough fuel, and especially enough carbs, is going to lead to a bigger pump. You see guys sometimes, to get the biggest pump possible, they'll have like honey mid-set, right? Kind of a meme, but this is a real thing. Making sure that your fueling is going to lead to bigger pumps. And likewise, making sure that you have enough electrolytes in your system, which I also covered in another video, is going to make sure you have enough enough fluid to pump into your muscles to get a maximized pump. But another very simple tip that I can give you is to just simply be warm while you're lifting. This is because when you're warmer, you're going to get more blood flow. When you're colder, you're going to get less blood flow, and all the pump really is just blood flow. So by being warm, maybe you can wear a hoodie or a pump cover for your first set or 2, and take it off before it gets too hot. If you do this is just simply going to lead to a bigger pump. And the final thing I'd say is to control the eccentric motion. This is a very safe practice, obviously. In fact, it leads to more muscle growth. That's when, say you're doing bicep curls and you're lifting, making sure you're controlling the lowering movement. This is what's going to lead to full range of motion, and overall, it's going to give you a bigger pump. Now, do they actually work? Well, I won't waste any more of your time, and the answer is maybe. You see, there's a lot of correlation around pumps. In fact, nobody's actually done a study on them. They haven't compared to see if they actually lead to more muscle growth. If you hit a hard workout, you're probably going to have a pump, meaning that you probably pushed pretty hard. You went too close to failure, you did a decent amount of volume, and you probably got a decent pump from that. But does that mean that you are necessarily going to make more muscle? Well, again, maybe. Because most of the research shows that a pump in itself is probably not an actual factor to lead you to build more muscle. But there is one hypothesis, and that's called the cell swelling hypothesis. What this is basically saying that when your cells swell, which happens during a pump, that could be another anabolic signal to your body to make more protein synthesis, to make more muscle, to have more protein synthesis. So this could be a factor. It is a theory out there, but overall, they haven't done enough studies to conclude. But regardless, pumps are super cool, so make sure you use those tips on how you can maximize them, and I'll catch you in the next one.